Gamers. Gamers, are you listening? Gamers, are you ready to be disappointed in a way that only your parents have been disappointed when you were born? Welcome to the state of getting played. I am your host, Night Sky Piss, and today we're going to be watching the Sony State of Play. I'm joking for the most part. I think this one might actually be good. There are some pretty decent rumors, some decent confirmed stuff. I think we might have a good one. I think it might be okay, chat. I think it may not be the worst thing ever. And even if it is a mid state of play, I think I just always have so much fun, watching these things with you guys that like it's never like a bad thing. Music is dope. If you like the music, here is the, please go and check out the artist there. So yeah, anyway, I'm super excited for today. I think it's gonna be a fun day. I think we're gonna have a good time. NSP FF7 no naka ni wa eigo no koe to nihongo no koe to de wa nihongo no koe no hou ga ii, yo. That's good. Bro actually did it. He actually came back and explained it in Japanese. Nice. Good job, man. I'm proud. Cool. I respect it. Is it my TV or is there flashes of light on NSP? Flashes of lights? Let me look at the stream. I'm not seeing any flashes of lights on my end. There shouldn't be any flashes of lights, I think. Check your display. In either case, I'm really, really happy and really excited to be here with you guys today. Yeah. Oh, also, let me share that in the Twitch chat because some people really liked the lo-fi. There are flashes? Let's see. I'm looking at the Twitch one and I'm looking at the YouTube one and I'm not seeing any flashes. Are there like active flashes? Okay. Well, okay. So I had two people mention the flashes, but everyone else doesn't seem to be mentioning the flashes. So, and I don't see the flashes on my end. Oh, you know what? You may see like, maybe you see certain flashes when like I like minimize windows. Is that what it is? Because of how bright it looks. Squall UA, thank you for the tier 1. I just saw that. Just when I have my clown hat, just when I prepared my clown hat, I know. Hopefully there won't be any clownery today. Hopefully we can have something to celebrate with. I think for anyone looking forward to Lost Soul Aside, we're definitely going to be getting something on Lost Soul Aside. So I literally just finished. Yeah. Flashes are him switching screens. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is too. Like I'm pretty sure I can flash. Like if you see that, then that's probably just me switching screen. Because I'm in like a not so well lit room. I have a ring light. But that's probably what you see. Looks like a good OLED monitor. It is a good OLED monitor, and it's ultra wide too. So it gets like the full curvature of my eye. It's very nice. I'm a huge ultra wide stand. That was a huge flash. Yeah, that flash was intentional. The flash that you're seeing is just me messing around with different windows. That's all it is. It's because we're in a really dark room. That's why. And all I have on is a ring light. KH4 fans holding on by a thread. Yeah, I don't think. I personally would not be too too convinced that Kingdom Hearts stuff is going to be here. Like, I'm not like sold on it. I don't think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to necessarily be here. I would love to eat my words on that. If I do eat my words on that, then that would be awesome. Like, nothing would make me happier than to do so. So, hopefully, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully, um, I'm like, oh my god, dude, I was wrong. Kingdom Hearts 4 is here. I don't think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be here. However, that being said, let me pull this up. I want to preface this by saying I don't think this is real, but I pray it is. I do. I do pray it is. It's not like, a bunch of like super reliable sources like really reporting this or anything. So take this with like a grain of salt that this is probably not like real. But it's some cool like copium for us to get before the show starts. There was a rumor about a Parasite Eve remake that was going to be announced at the State of Play. I mean, please keep in mind that this is probably not real. This is probably copium. Don't take this to be the truth of anything or like too seriously. It probably isn't, but here is what the rumor has to say. Rumor, Parasite Eve remake could be announced at the State of Play. In a now deleted image, the hypnotic soprano, which alludes to Melissa/Eve, the opera singer antagonist from the first game, is written. A square piece of tofu can also be seen on the aforementioned image, which may allude to Square Enix. Do you want to see Ayabrea finally return? If it does get announced and I suddenly stop posting, it means I died of a hype heart attack. The source is I have no idea who these people are, but they're on Reset Era. And then you just have like this AI generated image of Aya, and that's it. And then also too, I guess there is this supporting evidence that Kodokawa Corporation owns and redistributes publishing rights and further licensing to Parasite Eve as of November 2024. This means that creator Hideaki Sena won't stop Kadokawa, by extension Sony, after their agreement from using the rebranding. So, again, take that with not even a grain of salt. Take that like with a fourth of a grain of salt. Or like, is it a bigger grain of salt if it's like more of a lie, or is it a smaller grain of salt? I actually don't know. What the fuck is the origin of that saying even? In either case, don't believe it. Is what I'm trying to say. It's good, it's cool, it's something I would like to believe. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, this is definitely happening. So yeah, the image is AI generated. So don't think that that's like a leaked image from the game or something like that. That's stable diffusion, dog. That rumor is about as valuable as like a 4chan rumor about anything. Nate the Hate seems to think that NieR is real and could be released in 2026. Yeah, I meant to talk about that in like a video or something, but I decided that it might be better to wait for this and see if NieR is happening. So we'll see if 9 remakes a thing, and then we'll do something about it. Like I said, Tyler, what's up, man? How you doing? Glad to have you here. Did your PSN go down? Wait, why do you think I'm having internet issues? My internet should be fine, I think. You guys say things that make me anxious. um, Still more likely than anything Bloodborne. I don't know, dude. Every state of play, there is like insane Bloodborne copium. Wait, PSN is down? PSN is down again? That's fucking brutal. Why? Well, actually, I don't know, guys. Why is PSN down before a state of play? Right? Bear with me. Maybe PSN is down before a state of play because something preparing the servers for Bloodborne. Let's go, boys. Bloodborne remaster has been fucking confirmed. Let's go. That was it. That was it. That's all we needed. Now we know Bloodborne's fucking coming, dude. I'm waiting to draw FF9 for the eventual hope they get remade slash remaster. I don't think you'll have to wait too much longer, right? Like, we haven't really gotten any confirmation that FF13 remaster's in development, but I'm willing to bet it is. Really, Zach, hello. Remasters and remakes, well, more so remasters. Remasters are like really easy money. So I think they'll keep coming. I think we'll keep seeing them for the time being. Because I made a video on that FF15 remaster, right? And I know that a lot of people's reaction was like, I don't want a FF15 remaster. That's a PS4 game. And I think that's a sensible reaction. But like, at the same time, PS4 remasters keep rolling out, and there are people who still want to see some like PS4 games get remastered, like Bloodborne, for example. So I don't think that remastering of like relatively recent games is going to stop. I don't think it's going to stop whatsoever, right? And also too, like we had got like a leak about the next NieR game. No, I haven't seen that. Send that shit right now, bro. What the fuck? Forward that to me immediately. Um, I have to call it NieR 4. Um, because last time I said that I wish we had a proper NieR 3, and yeah, I got like ass blasted by a lot of the Yoko Taro community because they were like, you should have played Reincarnation. I'm like, damn, dog, my bad. I'm like, my bad. It's like, I can't play it now. So, like, what am I supposed to do? NieR fans hate if you don't count the mobile game. I know, I know. Also, hello, Maku. Um, but yeah, they do hate. They hate if you don't count NieR Reincarnation. And it's not like I'm like I would like discredit anything in that game, right? I hear the story is really awesome. I don't think Yoko Taro is ever putting out anything that's like, bad narratively. It's just like, you know what I mean when I say the next mainline NieR. I'm talking about a full priced console game, right? I'm talking about something that appeals to the 9 million plus people that bought Automata, and not just like the core Taro faithful. You know what I'm saying? Like the absolute people who were like buy Taro products like no matter what, like will hunt down any stage play or anything like that. And in particular, the reason that I mention that is because it is one of Square Enix's highest selling games ever, NieR Automata. It is actually hitting the numbers that they wanted Final Fantasy to hit. It's hitting like 9 million plus. The game sells like another million units every year. So, all of the point that I had made in that post was just that, like, Square is like, I'm like, they're fumbling the ball by not, getting a new NieR follow up sooner, because it's been like 8+ years since Automata. And so we should probably know about the brand new NieR by now, because obviously, it would just be so much better if we did. So I don't know. I think that they would just be better off if, if we did know about the new NieR. Hopefully, the new NieR is something that we know about soon. Maybe that'll even be something that gets announced here. Who knows, right? Mobile games are not games. Oh, wait. Mobile games are games, not games. I get you. Too busy milking Automata dry. At least Atlas puts out games for Persona 5. That's also true, right? Like, and I mean, we also got Persona 3 Reload, as well as Persona 5 Royal while waiting for it. I guess you could also say that while waiting for the next big NieR, we got NieR Replicant 1.22, which isn't untrue. I sent the link in the chat. I don't know if you saw. Oh, I didn't. Wait, it didn't show up. Fuck, it may not show up. You may have to either send it on Twitch or DM it to me on Twitter in order for me to look at it. Because I think YouTube's chat might catch it. How much of Automata's sales are just because of 2B's design? I do think that 2B's design plays a large role in it. But I don't think that it's like the only thing. I think it was like really good clickbait for when the game came out, right? Android. But I don't think it's necessarily like why that game lasted the test of time. But I do think that obviously if you do put like a really good character design in the front, and yeah, people see it and they get curious, and yeah. Character design is really important. Characters do have to be cool and interesting in order for us to really want to check out games. And I don't think that there's any denying that for sure. You do have to make a really cool looking character. I mean, after all, I'm pretty sure most of us are here in, Square Enix fandom just because we saw, like, back in the day, Cloud looked really cool, or Squall looked really cool, or some of the designs you saw in Kingdom Hearts looked really cool. And then you were like, okay, what's all this about? I think Stellar Blade has. So honestly, between the two, I do actually find Stellar Blade's gameplay more fun than NieR. But I agree that Stellar Blade probably won't last the test of time in quite the same way as NieR, because NieR is about way more than just the character design and the gameplay. It's also about the story. So I think that if there ever comes a time where we look back on NieR's gameplay and say it's dated, it's not that good, actually, I still think that NieR with Automata would still be a game worth playing. Purely because the story, music, characters, what they accomplished in that game is something so cool that I think it will be looked back on years from now still. Is it also about time for a new God of War? Well, we have the rumor about the God of War remasters, right? So I'm thinking that's going to happen. That's also very possible for the God of War remasters. I saw something about rumors for a God of War prequel, like another God of War prequel. Maybe it's just me, but like, I don't like prequels to prequels. I barely even like, I'm like barely okay with most prequels in general. I'm not really a prequel guy. Like, there's not that many prequels I would go off on. Like, it, like, I can name like the number of good prequels on one hand. Better Call Saul, Metal Gear Solid 3, uh, DMC3. Okay, DMC3. Uh, did you not like Crisis Core as a prequel? Hell no. I hated that story. I thought it's no. Um, it's not like many prequels. I'm like, wow, that was a masterpiece. So yeah, Better Call Saul, DMC3, Metal Gear Solid 3. That's probably it. There's not too many prequels I like. Full honesty. State of Play starts in 1 hour for those. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry, chat. I'm not a big Crisis Core fan. I do think that they made it a decent, okay game with Crisis Core Reunion, but I hate the combat in that game. I don't like the story. I don't like. Yeah, I just not a fan. Not a fan. Not too many prequels I like. I'm trying to think if there's anything else other than those three where I'm like, okay, that link worked. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. NieR sequel could be getting announced this year. Rumors suggest that a NieR Automata sequel could be announced in 2025, further fueling speculation about the franchise's future. Previous statements from Square Enix producers and Yoko Taro have teased the possibility of a new NieR game. While no official confirmation has been given, fans are eagerly awaiting potential updates on the series. According to a recent rumor, NieR Automata's sequel is reportedly going to be announced in 2025. This new rumor has added weight to the theory of the game coming to the franchise that it wasn't clear about until now that it was specifically about a sequel to NieR Automata. NieR Automata is a successful JRPG released in 2017 that introduced players. Oh, I'm sorry, my thing is way off. Move this over. That introduced players to a dystopian future where machines out of control declared war on human beings, forcing them to flee the planet and create a resistant android army on the moon aimed at reclaiming Earth. The game was a sequel to 2010's NieR, featuring the same artistic and narrative style, exploring deep themes, and offering a complex story with many different outcomes. Rumors about a new entry in the NieR franchise have been circulating for the past few years, though nothing has been officially confirmed. Adding to the speculation surrounding a new NieR Automata game, games industry contributor Daniel Camello took to Twitter to inform the community that a sequel to the game is in development and will be revealed in 2025, even though Camillo didn't provide any details or proof to support his claims. There have been several hints in the past that build up the theory of a new NieR game, potentially lending credibility to this information. Some games that will be revealed / announced this year: Tomb Raider, new AAA main title; Fire Emblem Remake. Interesting. Which Fire Emblem is getting remade? NieR Automata sequel, Castlevania AAA, EA FC 26. Different reliable sources, fairly confident. In November 2023, a Square Enix producer touched upon the possibility of a new NieR game, stating that as long as Yoko Taro, the franchise creator, was still alive, a new entry was possible. Later, in May 2024, Square Enix executive officer and NieR series producer Yosuke Saito mentioned a collaboration with Yoko Taro, though he didn't specifically reveal what this project was about. Earlier in 2024, Yoko Taro himself sparked speculation about a new NieR series announcement while celebrating the game's milestone of 8 million units. The famous game director took to the stage and told fans if they wanted a sequel to NieR Automata, their applause should be the loudest of the evening, and the crowd immediately followed his request. On top of all that, adding to the hint and speculation, Yosuke Saito revealed in a recent interview that 2025 was going to be a milestone year, and Square Enix wanted to do something regarding the NieR series. Even though all this has sparked excitement among fans eager to see a new entry in the franchise, no official or concrete information has been disclosed yet, though it seems almost obvious that something is happening behind the scenes. While players continue waiting for a new NieR reveal, Daniel Camello's tweet has further fueled speculation. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, I had made a video prior where I talked about Square Enix not really having anything announced for 2025, right? Thus far, all they have announced is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth PC and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. That is an incredibly empty year. I would like to imagine that the year is not going to be that empty, right? There needs to be something that fuels the kind of gap between, the next, or I guess like Kingdom Hearts 4 and Dragon Quest 12, which are definitely not coming this year, whether we get new information on them or not. Sorry for Kingdom Hearts fans. I'm pretty sure Dragon Quest fans are emotionally prepared for that. But yeah, I think a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans are copiuming that KH4 is this year. I do not believe KH4 is this year at all. So I think that a new NieR game is like the thing that is going to essentially be the missing piece between KH4 and Dragon Quest 12. So we'll go NieR 3, Kingdom Hearts 4, and then Dragon Quest 12 for the next major Square games. And then 7R Part 3 will happen sometime in between all those or after. Probably holding some for Switch 2 Direct. That's also true. So I can imagine us getting a new Team Asano game at the Switch 2 Direct really easy, right? Like a new Bravely or something like that at the Switch 2 Direct. That's really easy to imagine. KH4 halted. Nomura's secretly working on 15 remake. I wouldn't even mind, honestly. But in a way, Kingdom Hearts 4 is 15 remake, bro. KH4 won't come until after Missing Link. A trailer would be nice though. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, my personal theory is that KH4 will get a new trailer when Missing Link finally launches. That's what I think is going to happen. That's when the re-reveal of KH4 is going to happen. The reason I think they're going to do it that way is because the best way to generate excitement for for Missing Link is to show a brand new KH4 trailer. I think that seeing a new KH4 trailer is going to make people who are a lot more casual with Kingdom Hearts, who don't necessarily play the mobile games, be like, oh yeah, a new Kingdom Hearts game is coming out. A new numbered Kingdom Hearts game is coming out. Oh, what's this mobile game that's coming out, right? You know, that I can like go and play right now. Okay, I'll go and check out the mobile game to keep me occupied while I wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. Cool. I'm also glad we didn't have too many, and I know Kingdom Hearts fans hate people using this terminology, but I'm going to use it anyway. Spin-off games to kind of fill the gap between the main numbered titles. I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad that we're going from KH3 to KH4. I don't want any smaller games in between that. I just want to go straight to KH4. And I'm glad for the most part, other than like Melody of Memory and Missing Link, which are fine, I'm glad that we're doing exactly that. I thought KH4 was canceled. No. The only way KH4 would be canceled would be like if Nomura like left. Other than that, I think we'll always be getting Cage. Yeah, no one is not working on NieR for sure, because no one wasn't involved with Final Fantasy IX in any capacity. He didn't even draw. I don't think he did. He draw any of the characters? I don't think he did. I don't think he was involved in any. Because I know Vivi was in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I don't think he. I don't think he was responsible for Vivi's design, unless I'm mistaken. So that's what I think is happening with Kingdom Hearts. I'm actually weirdly optimistic about the future of Kingdom Hearts. I'm maybe more optimistic about it than like the future of Final Fantasy at the moment. Although I don't think the future of Final Fantasy at the moment is necessarily bad. I think that Square Enix finally got maybe a necessary wake up call recently to really double down and make Final Fantasy 17 not not necessarily in the same direction that they've been going in, which has had mixed levels of success. So I think that 17 could be, and I hate to say it, but like the one that gets them like really back on track. Because I do feel like that's a meme at this point, but um Stockholm syndrome is really getting to me. I'm having fun playing 13. I used to hate it. Maybe when the remaster for it drops, I'll like really feel the same way. I don't think it's like, I think that there is a fun game somewhere inside of Final Fantasy 13. I just think that like a lot of bad design choices like stop it from being that for me. But I think if they remaster it properly, I can come around to 13 being like a decent game for me. It just depends on if they add a lot of the quality of life features that are in 13 too. Then I think that from like a gameplay perspective, I can probably be pretty all right with it. And I think if they like, and I know they wouldn't do this because it's so expensive, but if they re-record some of the scenes and they tweak them to like make the some of the delivery, like some of Vanille stuff, especially, like a little less how it currently is, I think it could be cool. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, NSP. Regarding the Parasite Eve rumor, what if it's simply Sony adding the game to the PSN Classics collection today? Just a thought. Thank you again for the super chat. I think I'd be happy with that. Like if it was just like, hey, you can now play Parasite Eve on PSN Classics. I would still say that's a W, right? Like I would still be pretty excited about that. You know, it doesn't have to be like a remake. But also, like, just realistically speaking, I don't know if Square could like really remake Parasite Eve. That is not a knock on Square, like necessarily. It's just like I just don't think that game, like remaking that game, is currently within their wheelhouse. Like not internally. Like it would probably have to be an external studio working on it, and I don't know who. I really only feel like Capcom could do it, and I don't think Capcom and Square Enix would work together. So, not that Capcom and Square Enix have any beef. It's just that I don't think they'd work together because if they did, they would both want the majority of the money made from the game, and it would be very difficult for either one of them to be profitable. My worry about remaking PE is that it isn't an RPG anymore. Yeah, that's kind of the problem for me too. Coolio Ash, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it so much. You're the best. Mainline FF game also have crazy budgets, so they have to sell like 5 million for Square Enix to be somewhat happy early on. They do. They do. But really, if you really think about it, those games are like very huge, and like the whole game is like a movie, right? So think about like a God of War or like an Uncharted, right? Those are like movie games, right? But those are like 20 hours long. Ragnarok was a little longer, maybe 30-ish hours long for the main story. So imagine like Final Fantasy games that are like 50 hours long, right? And not only do they have set pieces that rival something like Spider-Man 2, right? Because I mean, some of the set pieces, especially in 16, where you have Bahamut Risen, and I mean you have Ifrit Risen and Bahamut fight, and that was like a quadruple A cutscene, right? Like that was like I definitely appreciated everything in that scene, but I'm just like, oh my god, I was just thinking, how much money did they spend to make this like a fight, right? Like that was like super crazy. And then on top of that, right, like Final Fantasy games are way longer and have more content, but they're also on par with the visual quality and the cinematic level of Sony AAA games that cost like $300 million to make. Now, the other side of that, though, too, is that it is cheaper to develop games in Japan purely because you don't pay, or they don't tend to pay employees as much in Japan as they do in the US. So like the median Japanese salary is between 26,000 and 50,000, right? In the US, 26 to $50,000 would be nothing, right? Like who would be able to survive off of that? But also in Japan, 26 to like 50K is middle class. Whereas in the US, that's absolutely not middle class whatsoever. Under 50K especially would just be nothing, right? So they're able to make games cheaper in Japan. So I don't even know how it compares necessarily. But I do imagine that Final Fantasy games, mainline games, are really expensive. Really expensive. They have to be. $50 filled with nice voice acted of talking. Or I guess you meant like 50 hours of nice voice acting. Yeah. I think they saved quite a bit from that. Also with Rebirth, AI based lip sync. Yeah. Rebirth is honestly crazy because Rebirth, one of the most mind-blowing things about Rebirth is that Rebirth, even like regular NPC cutscenes where it's just a side quest, even a lot of those have fully animated cutscenes. Like fully animated. And not just like two characters like stiff talking and stuff, but like actually like cinematic quality stuff in some of them with unique animations. It's really mind-blowing how they managed to achieve that. Like sometimes I go back to that game and it's just nuts. One of the things though that I think that they spend maybe a bit too much money on is some of the boss cutscenes. And by that I mean like the phase cutscenes. I'm like, holy shit, man. You didn't have to do that. Because some of those have to be worth like a few $100,000 in like the animation like alone. And I'm just like, why did you do that? Like it's so cool, but it's just like you didn't have to like spend that much money in just doing a phase shift for the fight. Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate it. I think it elevates the game, right? Because it is so cool. I don't think the game would necessarily be worse for not having them though, which is why I point that out. But I'm just like, you guys spent so much money just doing like a phase shift in the middle of a boss fight. And sometimes bosses will have like, like 3, 4 scenes. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude. The thrill slash excitement when you lock in. Yeah. It's really cool, dude. It's fucking awesome. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Because it's conflicting for me because on one hand, I do think that they could make Final Fantasy a double A game and it could be like a really cool double A game and it wouldn't need to necessarily be as bleeding edge as something like, Retrilogy or 16 in terms of visuals. But then part of me is like, no, dude, fuck that. Like Final Fantasy's DNA is kind of the AAA game. Final Fantasy VII invented AAA games. It invented being extra. You don't get The Last of Us. You don't get God of War 2018 without Final Fantasy VII. So, I mean, while I agree with the sentiment that FF could be a successful double A game, and I wouldn't mind if FF was a successful double A game, I also feel like, fuck it, Final Fantasy is definitively the triple A game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is, that's what it does, right? Like, because I do look back at the past, and I do think, like, imagine if Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10 were double A games, right? Like imagine if they were. I don't think Final Fantasy 10 would have had the same impact that it had if it was double A. I just don't. That game had cool ass fucking cutscenes, a cool ass fucking battle system, lots of expensive voice acting, which at the time was considered high risk and a super AAA move to voice act the entire game, including like most minor NPC dialogue. So I do think the explosion of Final Fantasy is directly linked to its AAA-ness, as observed by Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 16 feels double A. Okay. I don't think I would say that game feels double A, but I get what you mean because it has double A parts to it. It has parts to it where you feel the budget like get low. And that was kind of like the big problem, or one of the big problems I ended up having with that game, was there was definitely parts where you could tell, like, you could circle areas of that game where it's like, this is where the budget ran. And one thing I can say about Rebirth, and maybe this is because Rebirth is a direct sequel, and so it didn't have this problem as much, but yeah, there's not really too many points of Rebirth I can really just like take out a Sharpie and just, or like, yeah, like a Sharpie and just like circle on the map, like, this is where the budget ran. It does feel like, 6 or 7R distributed its budget more equally across all of its content. Whereas I would say like 16, there are parts of that game where I can like very much point to and say, this is where parts of the game where the budget felt a little thin. So some games cut corners so they don't spend too long or too much on those moments, especially live service games. They got to push that content out quicker. Yeah. And it's that balancing act that you have to do. I mean, in my speculation on why 16 did that was because the icon fights are probably where a lot of the budget went. Because the icon fights are just so expensive and elaborate, and they're really cool, but I think that's like where it all went. 16 also had another expense too, that 7R didn't really have, and that was that 16 had to create a new engine from scratch, and 7R just said, "Fuck it, Unreal." So I imagine that probably helped 7R's development a lot. I think one thing you'll always notice is that typically, whenever a game doesn't have to develop like a proprietary engine to go alongside it, and they're just like building content, I feel like the game almost always turns out for the better. Whereas I think when an engine is getting built alongside a game, there's always issues somewhere with it in terms of content that you can really look at and kind of speculate. Maybe this was because of them being a bit busy with developing the engine and not being able to put all their manpower on the content. At least that's kind of been the thing that I've noticed, that kind of trend. Not just with 16 either. I think you can look at it with 15. I also think you can see it with 13 as well, right? Where 13 was kind of just like, it was very much like the hallway design and all that other stuff. And then once they had the engine already built out, they were able to build so much more content with 13.2. And so actually, even though 13.2 is like half the length of like the main 13, 13.2 is actually so much more of a better game than base 13. But also 13.2 is like more content dense, even though 13.2's like again, like shorter, like half the length in terms of the main story. But the diversity and the quality of the content in 13.2, massively better. And that's because when they were making 13.2, they weren't making an engine and the game, they were just making the game, right? They maybe were optimizing the engine, but they weren't like, yeah. 13.2 has open spaces, side quests, and mini games, right? Wasn't 13 a planned trilogy? I don't believe it was planned to be that way. I think 13 became a like planned to be a trilogy after 13.2 came out, but I don't think they planned it to be that way. Because nothing about 13 like really made me feel like they were planning the trilogy from the start. I agree 15 was rough because the engine wasn't even at its peak until the game was already out, right? Building an engine, especially with the scale that current gen budget games aim for, is generally a bad idea for any dev that doesn't have an army of engineers. That's the only reason Nintendo can use proprietary engines, right? And even then, Nintendo spent a lot of time developing Tears of the Kingdom's engine, right? That was like a good amount of the time that they spent was just developing Tears of the Kingdom's engine to handle all the complex things that they wanted to do in that game. I think it got sequels because Versus was in trouble. That's like the biggest reason, right? Because so the kind of lore behind Crystal Tools, if you guys don't know, like when Versus was in development, was that Final Fantasy 13 was behind in development, right? And they were developing Versus and 13 at the same time. And what ended up happening is that they wanted to push out Final Fantasy 13 first because, of course, that's the main game. And Crystal Tools was still behind, right? And so Crystal Tools originally was being made to accommodate Versus 13, which was going to have a more open world. It was going to have like all these dynamic physics-based calculations for like lighting and all this really complex stuff, right? So Versus 13, super ambitious game. 13 was a bit more of a traditional game, kind of an evolution of like PS2 design. And it didn't really require all that. So what ended up happening was that Square Enix basically said to the devs at the time, we need you to hurry the fuck up so we can finish Final Fantasy 13. So what ended up happening is that they rushed together Crystal Tools, finished it so that they can get Final Fantasy 13 out of the door. The problem is that severely fucked Final Fantasy Versus 13. Because now they rushed Crystal Tools, overly developed Crystal Tools for Final Fantasy 13 specifications. And now when they have to go back to make Final Fantasy Versus 13, they have an engine that fundamentally does not work with Versus 13's design, right? So this is where you get into the delays of Final Fantasy Versus 13. And then 14 is also a huge thing in this equation. So the same thing that happened to Versus 13 also happened to 14, right? 14 also suffered the same fate because they wanted to get 13 out of the door fast, right? The problem was, again, that when Final Fantasy 14 was in the middle of development, all the stuff from 13 came to 14. But an engine that was overly specified specifically for Final Fantasy 13 was not able to support Final Fantasy 14's open environments, multiple characters on screen, all these other things. And so 14's development suffered. And again, this is a big reason why they just had to scrap the engine. It just fundamentally was not built to work with anything other than Final Fantasy 13. So this absolutely destroyed Final Fantasy 14 1.0, and it absolutely eviscerated Final Fantasy Versus 13. So Crystal Tools alone effed Square Enix so hard that like they basically had to pay for it for a whole generation and a half. In fact, I would still argue that we're still being impacted by the number of delays that were caused by Crystal Tools and Luminous. Kingdom Hearts 3, delayed by like a year, maybe more, because they were working with Luminous Engine, right? And Luminous Engine only happened because Crystal Tools got fucked up. And then Luminous Engine was fucked up. And so the cycle just goes on and on. Right? Did you ever hear that Digital Foundry theorized that 16 uses an evolved Crystal Tools engine? What the fuck? No, I did not hear that. Where the fuck was that at? Could you find the link for that? That would be fucking insane. No, 16 was not Unreal, for sure. Yeah, 16 was definitely not Unreal. What was wrong with Crystal Tools exactly? It's hard to say, man. You can't really point to like one thing without actually being like one of the engineers on there. But I guess like to put it simply, Crystal Tools was developed specifically for Final Fantasy 13. So it wasn't developed for games that had open spaces or tons of characters on screen or for anything other than a very narrow hallway game that did not feature any type of different gameplay states or any type of dynamic content or anything else like that. So, essentially, the problem is that Crystal Tools was only developed for Final Fantasy 13, despite the fact that the original plan was to develop it for multiple games, to support multiple games. So I guess that would be the answer. I remember reading someone said something about how models worked and assets worked, which messed up versus assets being able to be implemented right. It was smart they shifted to Unreal for Kingdom Hearts because Luminous wasn't even that complete a year after 15 was out, right? So it was a great move. I'm glad they didn't wait too long to say fuck it, fuck Luminous, we're going with Unreal. Also, like too, Maku, I feel like part of that decision was Nomada just being like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. And him just being like, we're using Unreal. We're not doing this shit again. We're gonna make a finished game. I'm not dealing with the shit that I had to deal with in Versus 13. And him saying, fuck it. He is valid for that if true. Yeah, I know. That's just my theory on it, but I feel like that's not like unrelated to what probably happened. But also too, like one thing that people don't really mention with this discourse is like Unreal Engine is not perfect, right? Unreal Engine does have like its own issues too. But none of them ever make the game's development slow down. For as many issues that you can point to with Unreal, like stuttering and like other like lull built on Unreal memes, the amount of time that Unreal saves and the quality of game that you end up getting out of Unreal, despite all of the issues that it can have with certain optimizations, is still fucking worth it. It's still worth it. Which speaks to how complex game engine design is nowadays. Yeah, UE5 is far from perfect, but at the same time, you know, it's probably better to be on UE5 than anywhere else. UE is good enough for it to be the industry standard with how versatile it is, right? And I mean, here's another thing too that people don't consider. Whenever you're working with contractors and multiple other people, you can find Unreal Engine developers anywhere, right? Like I can find an Unreal Engine developer off the streets. In fact, that's exactly what happened with Palworld. Is that they literally just found like a guy like for most of their staff. It was literally just some guy. I think they said their lead animator was a guy who worked at a convenience store and used to chit chat with the CEO about guns. And then he's like, "I'm working on a game with guns. Do you wanna be my lead animator?" And he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Power World lore is incredible, by the way. I highly recommend you guys read up on Power. Nothing about that game is either serious nor real. It's like it's so insane. I cannot believe that game actually happened. It's ridiculous. They pretty much pumped out KH3 and 7R in like 4+ years with Unreal. Curious how KH4 will go since it's Unreal 5. Yeah. Cloud Strife, first class. Have a good one, man. The only issue I have with UE, but it's almost inevitable, is that I'm not a fan of the Unreal Engine look everywhere. Rebirth has a strong UE4 look, for example. Yeah, it does. But I mean, at the same time, though, too, right? Like, while it does have that kind of look, maybe, is not having that look worth another year, another 2 years, and all the complications that might come along with it, right? And so, even though it may have that look, even though you may have micro stutters sometimes, or all this other stuff, it still ends up being the better deal in most cases. What time is State of Play? State of Play starts in 24 minutes. Um, I can hold on. Let me see if I can pull up State of Play for us real quick. And not the IGN state of play. Yo, why is my thing like, oops, I accidentally clicked on the stream. Okay. Why is my thing doing that? I guess it doesn't matter. Oops, that's the state of play for Japan. Yo, why is it so hard to find the official link for the goddamn thing? Here we go. State of play. It won't let me theater screen it until it started. But okay, we have it. I have it ready. And we'll move me over here. And you guys have a timer right here. It's 21 minutes until the state of play starts. I want to assume that you're being sarcastic when you say Forspoken was destroyed because wokeness. So I'll take that as a sarcastic thing, but I just think that's silly because I don't think if that game was like not woke, it would suddenly be a good game. Right? That's always like what's funny to me is that people, when they do say that seriously, um, they'll act like, oh, if it just didn't have, this character in it per se, then it would be a good game. But it's like half those games would be ass either way. They're just bad games. That's the problem. They're just not good. Good job on the Japanese, Max. Although I still don't necessarily agree. But that's some pretty good in 5 level Japanese. Imagine if F7 released today, people would say Barrett is DEI and cloud cross-dressing is woke. People would absolutely say it's woke. Because woke doesn't actually mean what they say it means, or like the way that they're actually using it, if you know what I mean. When they like it, it's not woke. Like they'll sit there and argue with you and say Baldur's Gate 3, not a woke game, even though it's like the wokest game that ever woked ever. That word has lost any sort of meaning. Yeah, I mean it's been overused. It's been applied to like everything. It's not even like stuff that is like super leftist. It's just stuff that like it's just stuff that has like a random black guy in it or like something like that. It's pretty meaningless term. Learning more about the development hell versus 13 went through really gave me a semblance of closure, so thank you for that, NSP. Oh yeah, no problem. It sucks. It sucks. Nomura did not get a good hand, and I feel for him. Sometimes I wonder if Cyberpunk is woke. Brother, Cyberpunk is woke as fuck. Go read up on the guy who created it. It's awesome. I fucking love it. People will say that it's not just because they like it. So they have to make up a reason, a loophole for why it's not, but it is. Yeah, because it would go against the grifter narrative, right? So it's not. Noda has been drip feeding Versus 13 into every game he's produced since he lost control of it. I know. And I love it. It's awesome. I hope he keeps doing it. FF13 would be labeled woke if it came out recently. I know, because it has a female protagonist, and they would not be. They would not like that. Who is your favorite Sonic character? Is it generic to just say Sonic? Is that an unacceptable answer? I haven't touched the Sonic franchise in a long time. But believe it or not, guys, I was a huge Sonic head growing up. I fucking loved Sonic growing up. I was hella into Sonic. Honestly, if you have a reason for it being Sonic that's kind of based, Sonic is cool. I don't know if I have a reason for it being Sonic. I just think he's cool and he's blue. I just think his aesthetic is really cool. And then he turns into Supersonic, and then that's really cool. I don't know. I just think Sonic himself is just so iconic to me. And just inherently, he's just inherently cool. Bro said I like the really fast blue guy. I do. I like the fast blue dude when he goes fast. I'm loving the Shadow love lately. Yeah, Shadow is also cool. Shadow's kind of been making a big comeback. I feel like when they first introduced Shadow, it's kind of what if there was a version of Sonic, but he was edgy and dark. And it did appeal to that tween version of me that was oh, Shadow's so cool. He's like Sonic, but kind of evil. And he's also fast. Resonant Arc. Oh my god, hello. How's it going? Shadow saying I'm the coolest to Sonic only made him even cooler. Dude, Shadow was Sonic for contrarians. That's what it was, right? If you were a contrarian growing up, you preferred Shadow over Sonic. That's all it was. And I loved Sonic, and all of my cousins and my brother, they were no, dude, Shadow is where it's at. And I'm no. Sonic is good. Sonic loves people. He tries. Shadow's evil. I don't know. Sonic Adventure 2 is actually where I unironically realized that even in video games, I like playing as the good guy. Whenever I'm faced with a choice, I still like to choose to do good, even in the situation where it's a game. I want to pick the good guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm a goody two-shoes. Actually, I'm somewhat lying. Because in The Witcher, whenever I have a chance to just kill people, I sometimes do. I'm not going to lie. But that's because in The Witcher, sometimes the way some characters talk to you is so disrespectful. I'm just I want to beat this guy's ass immediately. And I just have to. I have to beat this guy's ass. that's like one of the few games where I'm like, anytime like a violence option comes up, I'm just gonna pick it because sometimes I just get so short fused with, you know, some of the characters and how they like talk to you and treat you in that game. And I'm just like, I'm gonna beat them up. NSP finding out in real time he likes doing bad things because they feel good. No, I like doing bad things sometimes because people disrespected me in the game. And then I snap and I'm like, you know what? Violence is on the menu. You know, I think about this a lot too when it comes to like JRPGs, because JRPGs always kind of have like a message of like non-violence behind them that I think is really interesting, that Western RPGs are kind of the games that give you the option to not choose violence most of the time. I think it'd be really interesting if there was a JRPG that gave you non-violent options to handle situations. Because I think that'd be really thematically appropriate for a JRPG. Did you enjoy the DLC for The Witcher? I'm actually still playing 3 right now, so I haven't touched the DLC yet. I'm like in the middle of Novigrad. I'm actually like toward the end of like the Novigrad section right now. Heart of Stone is really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think that it is probably one of the most immersive role-playing experiences that I've ever had. The only downside of the game, I guess, is that just like I find combat a little easy, kind of clunky sometimes, but like in general, just playing the game, like going through the world, interacting with the NPCs, it's one of the few games where I actually read everything I come across. Like I read all the lore. I read all the books and stuff I find. A lot of games I don't do that with. A lot of games I'm just like, I'm skipping through this shit. But I actually find most stuff in The Witcher 3 like really fascinating. Short reads about stuff in the world. Witcher 4 is going to be really interesting because I feel like if they can simply match The Witcher 3 in terms of the quality of the role playing and the quality of the storyline, and get some combat that feels a little more appropriate for the era, I feel like we're going to have like one of the greatest RPGs ever made. Read the books. I actually do want to read the books because I'm enjoying the world so much that I'm hooked in enough to like probably read the books. Didn't you hear The Witcher 4 is woke? It's too late. Yeah. I know. I know. I know. But I'm into it anyway. I think it's great. I'm excited to play a series. It's actually really crazy that a lot of people didn't see Ciri like being built up to as the main protagonist, because I mean it's so obvious, right? Like it's so obvious. Even if you played The Witcher 3 before 4 was ever even announced, you would know that it is all building up for Ciri to be the new MC. Like it is almost impossible to ignore. So like the fact that that's even like a thing that like blindsided some people is just like insane to me. The story focuses on Ciri so much. Like, it's so obvious. I just don't understand how some people were blindsided by that. Like, how they felt like, oh my God. Okay, it's starting. Monster Hunter.
I had no idea just how big the world is.
Oh, let me turn the volume up, chat. This game is so cool, man.
Flying feline incoming!
Capcom's not retiring RE Engine. In fact, they're working on like a next gen, like, kind of update for it, from what I've heard, so.
Stand witness to how its existence unfolds.
Blew out my eardrum for a second, Chief. Sorry. My bad. Great title update. Oh, cool. Red Mage. No, I'm just playing. Does kind of look like it though.
皆さんこんにちは。モンスターハンターワイルズプロデューサーの辻本です。無料タイトルアップデート第1弾の追加モンスターとして玉光が決定いたしました。この他にもタイトルアップデート第1弾で追加されるコンテンツはまだありますが、詳細は改めてお知らせしたいと思っております。本作は発売後に数回のタイトルアップデートを予定しています。タイトルアップデート計画については追ってお知らせしますので、今後の情報にご期待ください。2月28日の発売まであと少し。皆様に楽しんでいただけることを心よりお待ちしております。本日の発表は以上となります。引き続きステートオブプレイをお楽しみください。
Nice. Sega. Persona 6 now.
To unleash vengeance.
From the creators of Streets of Rage 4.
More than a weapon. It is the soul of a shinobi. No obstacle can stand in their
This
way.
looks cool. Yo, I'm hella down to play this, dude.
Where others would not dare. Striking with lethal precision.
Oh, is this a series? I'm not familiar with it.
Each weapon a tool. Each tool a part of the whole. This is the master of the shinobi.
I miss beat 'em ups like this. Where it's more of a platformer, it looks like. Crossed with like beat 'em up elements.
The legend continues.
Art of Vengeance. Okay, that actually looks dope. What is this? Is this Sonic? Oh, it's Sonic Kart? It is. Look, guys, he's blue and he's going fast. There's something so ironic about, like, Sonic racing in a car. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Setting up the dream desktop PC for the living room with the Steam Deck interface for my own Steam Deck console experience. Oh, that's nice. I use my Steam Deck to remote play to my main TV. It's very nice.
Become unbound from the laws that govern reality.
What the fuck is...
To turn the gears of time once again.
The fuck is...
An apocalypse looms over parallel worlds as their fates begin to intertwine. The battle to alter destiny begins. Embark on a journey alongside gods, heroes, and monsters of bygone eras.
Digimon?
Anomalies known as
Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah, let's go! You guys know I'm a big Digimon head, right? I don't know if you guys know. I saw something that looked like Metal Greymon, and I was like, this is Digimon. Let's go.
Seize the future.
Oh, that is Metal Greymon. War Greymon. Omnimon. Let's go.
The story of a bond that transcends time.
Digimon story, dude. Digimon story. Time Stranger. Oh, shit. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Peak is back, gentlemen. Lost Soul aside! It's been 10 years since my journey began as a solo developer.
输入之魂结合了流畅爽快的战斗体验与丰富多样的世界设计，玩家将在各具风格的场景中探索，面对充满个性的敌人，同时与有趣的角色互动，逐步揭开精彩的故事。接下来，我非常激动地向大家展示全新的游戏预告并正式确认游戏的发布日期。
I keep having the same dream.
Chat.
A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. And
Let's
when it
go.
seems they might vanquish the invaders, the dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies with you.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds.
Wow.
Through dimensions. Together.
It looks good, Chad.
I see great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance, the blade in your hand.
Dude, this game is going to be so good.
You never wanted to be a hero. But for humanity's sake, you must.
Then give me your power, Arena.
Oh my god, dude. When's the date? When's the date? May 30th, 2025. Dude, let's go. Coming to PC and PS5.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson.
Let's go.
We've got several updates today from partners around the world, starting with news from the Like a Dragon series.
Oh, is this the pirate
First up,
game?
A playable demo of
It
Like
is
a
the pirate
Dragon,
game.
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii arrives on PS5 this Friday. Players could try out 2 battle styles, including Goro Majima's new Sea Dawn style, as well as engage in naval battles at the Pirates Coliseum. Sega and Mint Rocket joined forces in Ichiban's Holiday, a new
Expedition
crossover
33
DLC
to
coming
Lost
Day of the
Olisai
Dead.
gonna be a good spring? Dude, I know.
Ichiban Kasuga and other
Gaming
Like a
is
Dragon
fucking
characters
back.
team up to thwart a gang of troublemakers in classic beat-em-up style, all while perfecting new recipes at Bancho Sushi. Dave the Diver Ichiban's Holiday arrives this April on PS5 and PS4. The Splitgate 2 alpha begins February 27th on PS5. Use portals and futuristic physics to dominate the arena, and play a new 24-player mode where 3 teams compete on a massive map.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I'm here to give you an exclusive first look in the future of the WWE 2K franchise. Introducing the Island.
I'm in the way of the dates. I am.
With the
Move up
Island,
just a little bit
players
more.
enter an online environment filled with WWE-themed landmarks, quests, live events, and shops with up to 50 other players at a time. The Island also offers deep customization, giving players the chance to personalize their My Superstars like never before. As the first of its kind for the franchise, the Island is not just an addition, it's a bold step toward the future. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Island.
Next. Borderlands 4. How about Bloodborne
Sup?
4?
I'm Randy from Gearbox. And I'm Randy from Gearbox. And you know why we're here.
Okay.
We're here for you. Are you
Okay.
ready? It's 2025, and every day we are getting closer
Nah,
to the
Borderlands
launch
is
of
tight.
Borderlands 4.
I haven't played one since the
go!
first one, but Borderlands is tight.
Wake up and I'm feeling like a...
Oh, that's that right there, chat, is going to be when we get the fucking copyright claim on YouTube. YouTube's claim system sucks so bad. Like on Twitch, you could stream like the most copyrighted thing ever, and like their content ID is so shit it doesn't even catch it. But like YouTube's is really good, so it catches everything, unfortunately. But yeah, you're just missing licensed music. You can still see the game right here. But it does look good.
Wake up and I'm feeling like a punk.
So badass, so much fun. I want more. We don't have to wait long now. Borderlands 4 is going to break free for a special state of play this spring, focused exclusively on Borderlands 4. And we're diving deep, you guys. Join us. Borderlands 4, state of play for combat, vault hunters, action skills, exploration and discovery, everything. You're gonna see more guns than you can even count. All on PlayStation 5, but Randy, do you have anything else for us?
I think I do, Randy.
Well, what is it? Don't hold out on me, Randy. I'll feed you, baby bird. Who wants a launch date for Borderlands 4? This Randy. Well, Borderlands 4 launches worldwide for everyone on September 23rd, 2025. We got work to do. See you in spring.
Oh, this is the game from the guy who made It Takes Two.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I really don't do small talk. Nice to meet you, too. So
You know what they're gonna say about this one.
Stories, my crazy stories.
You know what they're gonna say,
How are we supposed
Chad.
to get out of here if we don't start to trust each other? I don't need your trust. Well, I kind of need yours. 2, 1.
I took inspiration for this story from when me and my sister were younger.
Look at all of this. It's amazing. I base the story around
Looks a
my
little
dad.
woke to me. I know. That's what they're gonna say.
Write this
It's
silly
exactly
story.
what they're gonna say.
We'll face it together. We got this. Yeah.
I actually really like the premise of this.
Follow my lead.
Copyrighted music. But I actually really like the premise of this game, right? That you're playing as these two different fictional writers, and you're going back and forth between their different writing, and it's essentially like a spiritual successor to It Takes Two, which if you guys haven't played It Takes Two before, I do recommend it. It's a really good game to play, especially with like your partner if they don't have like much gaming experience, but it's really, really good to play, and I really enjoyed It Takes Two, so I will definitely be playing the Black Lion Guard. Thank you for gifting the sub to Resonant Arc. Appreciate that. Me and my girl really enjoyed It Takes Two. Yeah, me and my girl really enjoyed it too.
Looks like it penetrated through there. We need to inspect the hull damage first.
Doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look too good either. What is that?
Oh no, Mike. He got you a sub to my stream. If that makes sense.
What is that? This ship is infected with an alien.
So now you should be ad free.
It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Now forget why you started.
Lord have mercy.
Do you think Williams knows more about this substance than he's letting on? No. We can't take any chances with him.
It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
What is this? Directive 8020? What?
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse. Your job is simple. Enter the warehouse and retrieve the technology that he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt
Is this
to any
FNAF?
costume and become any character.
I mean, it has to be.
So just be aware of the slim but non-zero chance that you could sustain significant injuries while
Has to be.
attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident.
Yeah, this is
But
definitely
just in
FNAF.
case, we suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
Back to work.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team.
Greetings from Moonhood.
We're the creators of The Midnight Walk.
Cozy horror game created entirely in clay, where you will journey down a nightmarish highway riddled with terrors that want to devour you and your little lantern creature.
Oh boy. Together with your little friend, you must outsmart these terrors and bring back fire to this mad world we've handcrafted for you.
So please enjoy this short gameplay preview.
After the end of the world, the burnt one woke from a deep slumber.
Fire? I'd almost
This
forgotten
reminds me of the Nightmare
You're the caretaker
Before
of this
Christmas.
little firecracker? I reckon you must be headed for
Totally
Moon
playing this, not
Mountain.
really. I don't play games anymore. But I want to. Yeah, I feel that. Content creation, man. Locks you into like what you're gonna play, unfortunately. Same here. Yeah, this has like a Nightmare Before Christmas vibe to me. I like it. It's more creepy than it is like horror. Like you're not gonna be scared, but I like the unsettlingness of it. I just made up a word.
Special thanks to
But
Claudio
yeah, I like how
for that
unsettling
updated
it
look
looks.
at the Midnight Walk. Up next, a quirky new adventure from Konami.
Konami, everyone's favorite game developer in 2025.
In Darwin's Paradox, you play as Darwin, a clever octopus who finds himself dumped near a highly suspicious food processing center.
Unironically, Digimon is the highlight for me so far. 100%.
Use Darwin's natural camouflage and inking skills to escape the facility and save the world from aliens. We're excited to reveal a brand new title from Koei Tecmo Games and Omega Force.
What?
Warriors Abyss, a roguelite spin on the Warriors franchise. Descend into hell. Call on powerful allies.
What? What?
And experiment with tons of playstyle combinations to send the enemy hordes flying.
Literally what?
A roguelite hell awaits. when
Roguelike
Warriors Abyss
Musuo?
launches on PS5 and PS4
Or
later
Muso?
today.
How you say it? Roguelike Dynasty Warriors?
For whom are you working? I won't forgive you. Prepare yourself!
Onimusha?
A PS2 era classic returns with Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny. Capcom is enhancing
Wow.
the original game with HD graphics and a host of quality of life features, including fine-tuned
That's
analog
crazy,
controls.
man.
Immerse yourself in Jubei's hard-boiled journey and fight through a world of turmoil alongside trusty allies. Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny comes to PS4 on May 23rd and will be available for pre-order later today.
Dude, May is gonna be
Looking
a
to
hell
2026,
of a
let's check out a
month.
new trailer for Capcom's latest entry in the series, Onimusha: Way of the Sword.
Yo. Capcom cooks while Konami slept. I know.
強さの証明だろ。勝てばそれでいい。てめえらごときがいくら束になってこようが。
This looks good, man.
やべえ。
That's fucking cool. That is fucking cool.
ご無事で何よりです。
お前、なんだ?
Definitely one of the big games for 2026. Absolutely. That looks good.
Colonel Titan is security
Lock in.
This place. He's coming here. I'm sure of it. America is out to destroy the Shagohod.
Mike, if you're in chat, I'm very curious what you think about this game.
Then they're out to kill me as well.
What's the story between you and the boss?
She was like a mother and my master.
This is the best MGS game? Yeah, for sure.
The Cobras will take care of him.
Do you hear me, Snake? We are the sons of the boss.
I see it. The fear.
A great and terrible fury at being alive.
Dude, this game fucks, man.
Saros, and you are one of them.
Why'd you come back? There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss.
But I still have the Shagohod and the legacy. There is nothing America can do to stop us.
I'm not like the hugest MGS lore head, but this game and MGS1, I'm like a huge... I fuck with pretty heavy. Great games. Definitely excited for the remake of this. I need to play 2. I never played 2 before. 2 is like... Ape Escape! We need a new Ape Escape. Actually. Like, unironically, we need a new Ape Escape.
When the fury of emotions.
You would love 2's story, I feel? Yeah. I need to commit to playing 2.
And exposes the fragile structure of reality.
I have 1,000 questions. Why did you come back?
I stood in the home I was born in. In that moment, I felt a connection.
Epsilon 11, sound off. Where are
We still have like 11 minutes.
They're gone.
Choose your next move wisely.
What happened here?
Madness, hatred, and lots of it.
Every minute is a chance that Bloodborne could be here.
We must continue. We've begun to uncover.
So I'm covering the date. September 4th. Wait. Liza P.
How can it be
Is this
winter all of a sudden?
a DLC?
I'm sorry. You want to know the year? What
What a pleasure to meet a stalker worthy of the name. It's been far, far too long.
Oh, my forever friend. Help me to hold your hand and dance.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
She was looking for someone. Legendary. She stepped up only because no one else could. Too many stalkers were lost to that evil.
Yeah, this looks great.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Your survival is all that matters. Nothing else comes close, not even my life. I swear I won't be late. Not again.
Liza P. Overture. Wow, okay. Dude, this is a pretty solid state of play.
I don't know where I came from or how I was made.
I would say it's like a solid B+ so far. They could take it to an A, but they need to like end up on like a good game. I mean, like a really big game, like a Bloodborne or something like that. That would take it to an A. But right now, I'd say it's a solid B+. It's a really good state of play. If they end on something like really big,
We don't know where our children will put down roots.
an hour from now, 1,000 videos will be uploaded crying about how much this sucked. I know. I think it's just an easy grift, right? Like, no matter how good like a State of Play or a Nintendo Direct is, you just say that it sucked and you make like a dramatic face in like the thumbnail or something, and it's just easy clicks. I get the hustle, I do. But I don't know. I think this is a really solid State of Play. It could still turn into an A for me if it like ends off on like a really like big game, but I'd say B+ so far.
私の最新作ドリームオブサナザーはいかがだったでしょうか。破壊なくして想像はないというテーマのもと、ドリームオブサナザーではシューティングゲームの常識を覆す体験ができます。武器で傷つけたり破壊するのではなく、抽象化している散らばった世界を具体化して想像することができるのです。本作ではポイントクラウドというテクノロジーを採用し、プレイヤーは幻想的な夢の世界へダイナミックな変化を与えることができます。今年 PS5 登場予定で、本日からウィッシュリストへの追加ができます。
Visually, this is really interesting.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen Zitani, and I'm excited to share even more PlayStation news in today's show.
Days Gone Remastered?
Days Gone Remastered. The definitive version of Ben Studios' post-apocalyptic open-world epic comes to PS5 with VRR support and PS5 Pro support. It also includes added content like permadeath and speedrun modes, an enhanced photo mode, new accessibility features, and Horde Assault, a survival arcade mode with increased horde sizes that will provide a fresh way to experience Days Gone. And if you purchase Days Gone on PlayStation 4, you can upgrade to a digital version of Days Gone Remastered and get all the content and features for $10. Days Gone Remastered launches on PS5 April 25th.
Oh, it's coming to PC too.
New DLC is coming to Stellar Blade this June.
Yo, let's go.
The sci-fi action game is partnering with Goddess of Victory Nike on a new boss battle, collectible dolls and stickers, plus a new outfit.
Oh, a new boss fight. Let's go.
Both the Nike DLC and the PC version of Stellar Blade launch this June.
Yo! PC Stellar Blade June?
We've got some great PlayStation Plus updates today, starting with game catalog titles arriving on February 18th. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 2K25, and launching in a game catalog, Lost Records Bloom and Rage, from the creators of Life is Strange.
Did you girls ever see anything weird around these parts?
In this episodic adventure, players will join 4 high school girls living through the defining summer of their lives. What begins as a tale of friendship will eventually blend reality, dreams, and the unknown into a dual timeline narrative. The first episode of Lost Records Bloom and Rage arrives February 18th, with the second episode arriving in April. We're also excited to confirm 2 unique indie titles that will launch into game catalog later this year. Explore a mysterious mansion in Blue Prince, a genre-bending architectural adventure.
That's me.
Every door is a new decision as you build out a sprawling manor with 45 shifting rooms, adding layers of strategy, puzzles, and exploration. Blue Prince launches Day 1 into game catalog this spring. Abiotic Factor is a 6-player survival crafting game from Playstack and Deep Field Games. Stranded miles beneath the surface, you and a team of scientists must craft ingenious gear and traps to outwit your enemies and make this bizarre underground complex your new home. Abiotic Factor will be available in game catalog when it launches this summer. Now let's get a sneak peek at games coming to the PlayStation Plus Classics catalog. Coming soon are the first 3 Armored Core titles from the original PlayStation.
Oh,
Armored
what?
Core, Armored Core Project Phantasma, and Armored Core Master of Arena.
That's dope.
Meanwhile, Patapon 3 slides its way into the Classics catalog next week.
Parasite Eve? No.
No one knows how
Wait.
that world came into being.
Wait,
It devoured everything from the past.
what is this?
Only I was left.
Wait. What is this?
That was a fatal mistake.
This looks cool.
It's the aura of the Grail pieces. I can sense it. As long as it is reforged.
My wish can be fulfilled.
This looks cool.
But wishes come at a price.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
What the fuck is this?
Holy Grail. Blood. This is a feast only for the king.
Yo! I don't know what this is, but I'm buying it. I am buying this.
Gwendolyn, this is your final warning.
My quarrel
I'm
lies
locked
not with you,
in.
but I will take back everything that belongs to me. Even if the price is my soul.
Tides of Annihilation in development for PS5.
The table is dead.
Yes.
It exists no
Yes. Yes. Fucking day one. Yes. Dude, I'm absolutely buying. Absolutely.
Just some noise in my core.
Deep down in the depths of Vulcan, you must retrieve the Architect's core.
They will send everything they have to stop us.
You know I would never want to see you hurt. But the path we walk demands the extreme.
I remember you.
Run away.
Metal Eden.
I memory's still a bit blurry. Remember this.
Diaz! Showtime!
I have these gaps inside my head.
Satellite gives us a 10-minute window. You made it.
That's just leftover hardware. It's been decommissioned. What the hell is happening? All I know is that Silvercorp is a piece of my story.
We're at 41 minutes.
I'll cover you. All this time you just
Is
wanted
this the
answers
last
about the
thing?
tech in your head? Are you kidding me? This thing has ruined my life.
You have no idea who you're dealing with. And what you did, we should have left you in the desert.
When is the video coming out on Tides of Annihilation?
With your tech.
Like tomorrow? Tomorrow or Friday? Absolutely.
I know what I have to do. This is the only way.
Ghost being the last thing is very probable.
Hello, I'm Leslie Benzies, director of Mind's Eye, Builder Rocket Boy's new action-adventure set in the fictional city of Red Rock, where AI and human greed collide to bring Earth to the precipice of collapse. All captured on PlayStation 5 Pro. We're now proud to share some gameplay footage with the explosive combat and high-octane driving that you can expect on PlayStation 5 later this year.
This is looking closer to 50 minutes, chat. We're at 43 minutes right now.
What's going on in there?
It was an ambush. Do what you can. Do not lose her. Tires are out. Proceeding on foot.
Yeah, I don't really... This isn't my jam, personally speaking.
I'm coming to you now.
Not what I, like,
They're malfunctioning.
am into, personally.
Attacking us.
I imagine Expedition 33 would be shown here, right? It comes out pretty soon. I think Microsoft may own the marketing rights to it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they do.
Comes back to this.
What am I looking at? Death Stranding, maybe? What is this?
This world. This moment.
Is that
this
Raul?
Choice. Every time the sun dies.
Yeah, it's not Death Stranding.
Reigns.
Maybe this is like a new IP?
Then everything begins again. But after every death, I always come back stronger. I know that you are here, and I will find you.
Saros? Interesting. These types of trailers never do anything for me. Unless it's an established IP that I can, like, infer what's going to be happening. But, like, for a new IP, whenever I see these types of trailers, I'm just like, okay, so what?
Hey everyone, I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. We are thrilled to announce that our latest game, Saros, is launching next year on PS5 and enhanced for PS5 Pro. Saros is the ultimate evolution of the Housemarque gameplay first experience. It's a new single-player IP that builds on Returnal's award-winning third-person action. You play Arjun Devraj, performed by the brilliant Rahul Kohli. Arjun is a powerful enforcer searching for answers on a hostile, shape-shifting planet haunted by an ominous eclipse. All of us at Housemarque can't wait to share more about Saros, with our first look at gameplay coming later this year. Thanks for watching.
One last announcement, right? One last announcement, right? Thanks for watching. One last announcement, right? Like one last thing. One last Bloodborne. One last Final Fantasy IX remake. One last Kingdom Hearts 4. One last one last game. Dang. There was no one more thing. That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought there was gonna be at least, there's usually one more thing. I guess that new IP, Saros, I guess that's going to be like, that is their one last thing. But that's weird to me because I thought they just would have had a one last thing. Okay. So I would say it's a pretty good state of play overall. I would give it a B. Personally, I would give it a B. I know some of you wouldn't. Some of you are mean. I think it was pretty solid, personally. Well, let's do a little poll real quick. Rate the SOP. A, B, C, and then D. I thought personally I'd give it like a B+, right? I do think it had a lot of neat announcements in it. I do think it was kind of lacking that like one big, oh my god, no way, like title that like broke the internet. But I mean, other than that, like I think it's pretty solid. So let's look at the results. So far, we have 0% for A, 1%, okay, 41% for B, 38% for C, 18% for D. So the majority of people seem to agree that it was probably a B. Some people think that it was probably a C. But a few people think that it was on either end of being like terrible or being like super exceptional. Joyful Rage, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Hope you're doing great. Appreciate you for stopping by. How's it going? Okay, we'll just go ahead and close the poll. End it right there. So yeah, there you go. Not too bad. I only did the poll on YouTube because the YouTube makes it easier to do. I actually don't even know how the fuck you do it on Twitch. Like literally, how do you do it? I don't even know what the buttons, how it works. I think I think you have to go into like the channel management thing. Fuck it. Joyful Rage, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate it. It was mid? I don't think it was mid. I think it was pretty good. I thought it was good. What else do they, I mean, for me, it would have been an A if it had like the one more thing and it was like a super big announcement. I think that's like what it was missing. I want to watch the Tides of Annihilation trailer again too. Let's do it, man. I thought that game looked so fucking cool. I am going to definitely make content about this.
No one knows how that world came into being. It devoured everything from the past. Only I was left. That was a fatal mistake.
It's the aura of the Grail pieces. I can sense it. As long as it is
This shit
reinforced.
is cool, man.
My wish can be fulfilled.
But wishes come at a price.
To pursue one's wishes is to court one's doom.
She's got the devil hand, chat.
Holy Grail. Blood. This is a feast only for the king.
Can't escape from your doomed fate.
Gwendolyn, this is your final warning.
My quarrel lies not with you, but I will take back everything that belongs to me. Even if the price is my soul. The table is dead. It exists no more.
I really wonder, because this is a game that's been developed. It says here, let me move this over. When the streets of London are engulfed by an outer world invasion, the only survivor, Gwendolyn, discovers a mysterious power to command legendary knights of the Round Table. Driven by a vengeance and the desperate need to save her sister, she embarks on a high-stakes journey across two worlds, a shattered modern London and the mythical Avalon. Unleash the power of mythical spectral knights, battle Colosseum foes and iconic landmarks, and uncover the truth in the gray fog in this thrilling action-adventure inspired by Arthurian legend. Can you master Gwendolyn's powers and decide the fate of two worlds? And then it features Spectral Knight dual fighting system, customized devastating combos with Spectral Knights and frantic high-speed battles. Modern London meets medieval fantasy. Explore iconic landmarks warped by an apocalyptic outer world invasion. Colossal knights roaming the city. Scale and battle massive dynamic knights across London in vertical interconnected challenges. 30 plus unique boss fights. Confront demigods inspired by the lore of Knights of the Round Table. Discover the secrets of your power. Unravel the mysteries of Gwendolyn's original origin in the journey of revenge, reunion, and redemption. The battle for two worlds begins. Will you rise above the tides of annihilation? Subscribe for more updates coming to PS5 and PS5 Pro. W. Is it a Souls-like? It doesn't look like a Souls-like at all. It looks more like a character action game than a Souls-like. I missed this. Were you hyped for Lost Soul Aside? I am. So that's cool. I'm really into this one. Gives me Final Fantasy vibes. Okay. So I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that thought that. I was like, this feels like very like Final Fantasy-ish to me. I thought it looks pretty cool. Oh, that's Jennifer English who's voicing her. That's dope. That's Lady Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate. I'm just reading the comments here. Shadowheart, my beloved. British Bayonetta. Dog, what the fuck? I mean, isn't Bayonetta British Bayonetta? Anyway. Final Fantasy meets Bayonetta. Okay, that's what I thought too. PC version confirmed? Oh fuck, let's go. Good. If I don't have to deal with base PS5 performance anymore, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay, comments are pretty hyped. This game gave me the vibes of DMC with the combat and Shadow of the Colossus with the environment. Yeah, that's what I also got too. Everyone has a British accent. I'm sold. Okay. No one is using a W word or talking about a word with a D. So that's good. Everyone is just being a normal person here. I'm glad to see. This game has no personality. Really? I thought it had plenty of personality. What is a personality? You know? I thought it had personality. Set in London, shocking. Yeah, I mean, Western Europe is overused in like media in general, period. Right? So you won't get any pushback from me on that. Like, it's just used a lot, and yeah, it's used for everything. So, I mean, they don't even really use Eastern Europe that much, which I think would also be like a cooler place for more games to like take place in. So that much I could kind of see where you're coming from. APL Mirage, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. I don't care. It looks cool. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Principally, I agree with you, but I don't care because the game looks so fucking cool. Like, I don't like. It's just, it's too cool. It's too. I'm into it, man. Like, I like it. I like it. It's cool to see hack and slash games coming back. I'm not the type that really pits them against Souls-like games, because I like Souls-like games too. Because there are so many people that are like, I'm glad because, you know, fuck Souls-like games. I'm like, no, fuck you. I like Souls-likes. I like it even better though when it's a hack and slash hybrid of Souls and hack and slash, like a fucking Stellar Blade, for example. That's usually my preference. When it's like a little hack and slashy, but then it's also kind of has the weight and the boss design of a Souls game. So I like both. This state of play sucks so bad. What are you talking about, man? I don't agree, like, at all. It did not suck so bad. Like, I feel like... Oh, it didn't play. I'm so sorry, Cooley. I'll manually play it for you. I'll manually play it for you. I don't know why it didn't play. It's okay, Cooley. I got you. We'll manually play it. Oh, it did play? Oh, okay. Wait, y'all can hear it? I didn't hear it. That's fucking crazy. Okay. Never mind. I guess it did play. I just didn't hear it. But that actually makes sense because I don't think I have it set up so that I can hear it. Okay. Oh, man. Why you gotta hit me with Arrow's theme? Because it's sad, bro. FF17, FF9 remake. Yeah, a lot of the stuff people were hoping for is not going to be there. I'm gonna just look really quick and see like what's going on with okay, a lot of excitement for Tides of Annihilation. Actually, all I see is Tides of Annihilation when I look at my feed. So a lot of people were excited for Tides of Annihilation. A lot of people are excited for yeah, a lot of people are excited for the Lies of P DLC. But yeah, I'm hella excited for that. Lots of third-person action game stuff happening. And a new boss fight for Stellar Blade. That's also really hype. At this point, I just want Sony Square to drop the subtlest hint that either FF9 remake or FF Tactics remaster exists. I don't know, man. It's definitely in development, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with them for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, everyone's super hyped for Tides of Annihilation. For me, that was pretty much the one more game announcement. That's a game that you can definitely expect NSP coverage of going forward. Just because it's a very NSP coded game. And yeah, I like it. And Digimon. We got a new Digimon. Lost Soul aside. Yeah. I think everything was cool here. I think you guys are fucking tripping. Like, if you hated this. Like, you guys, like, not all of you. Holly, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate it. But yeah, some of you guys are just like, you know, if there's not like God of War here or like Final Fantasy 17 or some shit, then it's like it's a bad state of play. Like, if it's not oddly specific, the one game that I wanted. Holly, thank you for the gift sub. I appreciate it. It was a B in my opinion. I'm right there with you, Midnight. It's a solid B. I wasn't disappointed with it. Did it go above and beyond my expectations, which is usually where I hit A? No, I think it was just one big game reveal away from doing that, though. Like, I do think if there was like a KH4 or a Ghost or something like that, then like I would have probably rated it an A. It didn't really have a big reveal from like an established IP in that way. But it's still pretty cool and still something that I'm looking forward to. Tides of Annihilation is like really, really dope. Onimusha game also looks really good and deserves a shout out. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I think it's solid. I think that people are, you know, kind of just like overestimating maybe what they thought was going to be here, but they do that every goddamn show. So what can you do, man? Every goddamn show, people are essentially doing that, and you can't beat people's imagination because people's imagination always overshoots what is going to realistically be there. And honestly, I think it's a solid B. Everyone will say, like, you'll see people say it's mid, and you'll never get an explanation about why it's mid. They'll just say mid, and then there's no elaboration on what they could have done. But also, I mean, the games that are done are done. People's expectations are crazy. People go in expecting Bloodborne 5 to be announced. And then, you know, it's not there, and then, oh, it's mid. A lot of the times, though, too, people judge how good these shows are based on the game that they arbitrarily decided should be there. And if it's not there, then they failed. But if it is there, then it's like the greatest game of all time. Holly, thank you so much for the 3 gift subs. Thank you for popping off. Jesus, you're awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, people can't keep being like, I'm going to make up the game in my head that I believe should be there. And then when it's not there, fuck you. And Sony sucks. I mean, like, you know, it's like, yeah. Not a whole lot for me personally, but lots of interesting stuff. Definitely a beat, right? I think a lot of people rate specifically to their own taste and to the games that they arbitrarily decided in their head should be there, right? And I tend to not rate that way. Granted, I actually do think there's a lot of content there that I am interested in. Metal Gear Solid Delta, Lost Soul Aside, Onimusha, Tides of Annihilation. So, state of plays have no personality. I mean, if you're expecting the fun playfulness of like a Nintendo Direct, then no, like, yeah, it's not going to be there. But if you're expecting like if you're expecting a normal thing, you know, kind of like I don't want to say like mature to imply that like Nintendo Directs aren't mature, but mature, because that's like the only word I can think of to describe it. Then yeah, I mean that's just like what it is. Like, yeah, I thought it was good. I'm happy. It's a very good update. I have content to make now, which is the number one quality maybe by which I rate a state of play is, do I have games to talk about after the state of play happens? And I do. I have games to talk about. I have Lost Soul Aside and I have Tides of Annihilation, and I'm going to make a Tides of Annihilation video tomorrow. And it looks good. If it lines NSP's pocket, it's a good game. Precisely. That's like the only metric that actually matters. Will this game get views when I talk about it? Then it's the best game ever, dog. No, I'm kidding, for the record. Stellar Blade update video tomorrow. Fuck, because I also want to talk about Tides of Annihilation. So, and then I also want to talk about Lost Soul Aside. So, actually, shit, I don't know. There's gonna be a video on one of them tomorrow. I don't know which one. I will hopefully make a video on all of them, each one of them, throughout the week, because I want to talk about all of them. But we'll see. I don't know which game I should prioritize. Should I prioritize Stellar Blades or Tides of Annihilation, guys? Which one do you guys think I should focus on more? Stellar Blade, Tides of Annihilation, or Lost Soul Aside? I don't know. I feel like Tides of Annihilation is gonna cause like the worst discourse humanly possible from the worst people humanly possible. So I'm not really looking forward to that. I dread that with every fiber of my being. I dread the what people are going to be saying and how they're going to be saying it. But that being said, I'm still looking forward to the game anyway. Stellar Blade's only DLC, so go with Tides. Tides, yeah. I agree. Tides is kind of like the more exciting thing. I feel like we can talk more about Stellar Blade at a later point. The internet also seems to be breaking right now as I scroll my timeline about Tides of Annihilation. So, dog, this is just crazy. What the fuck? Come on now, chat. How would you grade today's state of play? And like, really? That many people saying D or below? Oh my god, chat. You guys don't fucking deserve state of plays. You don't. You don't fucking deserve them. You do not deserve a state of play anymore. Midnight, thank you for the tier 1. Make it a Lost Soul Aside video and call it part 1 of 3. Appreciate it. Not a single PlayStation Studio banger. Yeah. I mean, they said like, wait, that was last year, right? When they said like no big PS Studio games coming. That was last year. Is there a big PS Studio game coming this year that's announced so far? I don't think there is. Is there? Is there a big PS Studio game this year? Oh, is Death Stranding 2 considered a PS Studio? I guess it is, because Sony funds it. Ghost is coming this year? Okay, so Ghost and Death Stranding 2. It's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know. I feel like people's expectations just keep rising and rising. Tides of Annihilation will have more Gooners than Stellar Blade. I would think both have a lot. I don't think I would call Tides of Annihilation so far from like what we've seen in a Gooner game. Right? It just has a lot of beautiful women characters, but it doesn't have like, at least from what we saw in the trailer, any Gooner elements. Like, yes, they're beautiful, but they're not like, they aren't necessarily sexualized from what we saw in the trailer to me. They're just pretty. They have nice faces. But it's not like, you know, Stellar Blade where is definitely like fan servicey. Again, that may change as we see more, but like, yeah, I'm getting soft Gooner vibes from Tales of Annihilation, but it doesn't seem as gratuitous as Stellar Blade or NieR. So I'm okay. Yeah. It's hard for me to say like it's like a Gooner game, but it is definitely like a lot of pretty characters, and the game is designed to attract people with the pretty characters. But yeah, it's hard to call it a Gooner game. Does that mean Rebirth is a Gooner game because every woman in that game is a baddie? Yeah, like exactly, right? Like that would basically be like saying that like Rebirth to me is like a Gooner game, which I don't think it is. in any capacity. But maybe for some people it is. But yeah. I'm sure that the culture war is going to destroy people's, or destroy at the very least my own, um, hype for the game, because it's going to become the most nauseating thing to discuss ever. Is it Chinese developed? I had a sneaking suspicion that it was. Because just looking at it, the style of combat, the style of character designs, it didn't really seem like a Western developed game to me. And now that you're saying that it's from Chinese devs, that makes a ton of sense. Because a lot of Chinese devs are right now are making a lot of cool games. Did Hell Is Us catch your attention or not? I think it's interesting. It looked UE5, it probably is. Any game developed by a small studio is probably going to be UE5. For fairly obvious reasons, I think. It's just because if you are a smaller studio making a game, you don't have an engine, and the best engine that's going to be available to you with the best resources and isn't taking up, or isn't, how should I say this? I guess bluntly put, it's just the easiest thing for you to do. You don't have to get an engine from anywhere else. It's fully documented. It doesn't, take up a ton of royalties. It's just easy to use. You can hire like literally anyone off the streets to like work on an Unreal Engine game, because anyone can like fucking go and learn Unreal Engine. Any of you in chat can like literally go learn Unreal Engine tonight. You can literally download Unreal Engine from their website, and you can like literally learn on YouTube, or you can buy a course. And yeah. From IGN, Eclipse Glow is a new game studio based in, I don't know how to say that name, China, supported by investors from Chinese megacorp Tencent. Of course, fucking Tencent. Eclipse Go is made 100% developers with previous experience from creating franchises including Yakuza, For Honor, Assassin's Creed, Persona, and Prince of Persia. Okay, damn. That's actually pretty fucking insane. Yeah, I saw the combat. I saw the style of the characters. It's really interesting, though. It's about London, right? Because I feel like it's one of the few Chinese games that I've seen that isn't about Chinese culture specifically. Like, it's about like Western culture. Because I think most Chinese games, at least the ones that I've seen that have been on my radar, tend to be about Chinese culture. So I actually, because of that, I thought like maybe this was like a South Korean studio, if anything. But yeah, that's only going to make the culture war aspect of it worse. Because you're going to see chuds who are like basically saying, oh, the game is defeating woke, or whatever the fuck that brain dead chuds like this whenever a new Chinese game is announced. But I'm really excited for it. I think it's cool. Midnight Walk looks awesome. Which game was that? I forgot. Was that the... Oh, that was the Tim Burton looking game. The fucking this thing right here. It was this game. It looks very like Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, this game looks tight. Let me shrink my fat ass head. I'm cool with it. I would play this. When the trailer first started, I thought it was Clair Obscur trailer. Yeah. I'm very excited for Clair Obscur. Yo, let's actually take a look at Digimon again, because that's what's important. Digimon. Bro, y'all don't understand how big of a Digimon head I was growing up. This shit, though.
Free. Become unbound from the laws that govern reality. To turn the gears of time once again.
An apocalypse looms over parallel worlds as their fates begin to intertwine. The battle to alter destiny begins. Embark on a journey.
So it was this exact frame. I knew that this was Digimon. I was like, yo, is that Metal Greymon? And even if it wasn't Metal Greymon, just the head shape, the fact that it's like this metallic head over the body with an eye on it, that's a very Digimon-esque design. But I thought of like that being like Metal Greymon's head. And so I was like, oh shit, let's go.
Gods, heroes, and monsters of bygone eras. The anomalies. Known as...
And then when I saw Digi-Egg appearing in like floating space, I was like, oh dude, this is fucking Digimon. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Digital monsters. Okay, so it's like we're out in somewhere in Japan, Tokyo, and okay, there's a lot of Digimon here. Oh shit, they got Seadramon, bro. Let's go. Birdramon, Greymon, Metal Greymon, War Greymon, Omnimon, brother.
The story of a bond that transcends time.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Is it gonna have the same type of combat as Cyber Sleuth? I wonder. I don't know. I don't know. I played all the Digimon World games growing up. Yes, I did have a rough childhood. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I played all the Digimon World games growing up, and they were always probably the most brutally hard video games ever played by man. Oh my god. There is no Souls game that will ever be hard as a Digimon game. Digimon World games were like brutal, like fucking brutal. Had mechanics I didn't understand, had like grind that made no fucking sense. Ridiculous. The Digimon anime though, phenomenal. One of the best. Absolutely fucking obliterated Pokemon's anime. Pokemon's anime was just okay, right? Like it had like, you know, maybe like 1-2 seasons of being kind of good. Digimon was just pure Kino. Pure Kino. Like the whole way through. Which season was your favorite? Oh my god, dog. Do you even have to ask? Everyone should know. It's gotta be Digimon Tamers. Digimon Tamers. Come on, brother. Objectively, Digimon Tamers. Come on now. That was the best fucking shit ever, dude. Like, no children's anime should ever go that hard. Digimon Tamers, brother. Oh my fucking god. Digimon Tamers. Season 1, okay. Season 1 is good. Don't get me wrong. Season 1 is good. But you guys are wrong. It's not season 1. It's Tamers. Tamers is better than season 1. Tamers was a much more mature story, a darker story, It had more complex characters, including the Digimon that were more complex. Like their writing was more complex. Okay, I'll challenge you this. If you think season 1 was better, go back and watch season 1 and go back and watch Digimon Tamers as an adult. I promise you, if you go back and watch both season 1 and Tamers as a fully formed frontal lobe adult, you will realize that season 1 has the best vibes, but the best, most well-written Digimon anime was Tamers. You will come back and you'll be like, I'm so sorry, NSP, you were right. Digimon Tamers was like way better written than season 1. You got them on DVD. Watch them. I promise you, you are going to rewatch Digimon Adventure and then watch Digimon Tamers, and you're going to be like, damn, Tamers is fucking insane. What was your least favorite one? I didn't really fuck with Cross Wars. I thought that shit was like, or whatever the fuck it was called, that shit was fucking lame. And then I thought Digimon Frontiers had like a lot of potential. I don't completely hate Digimon Frontiers, but it wasn't as good. Digimon, what was it called? Savers? It was the other one where the main character also had an Agumon. That one ended up actually being kind of good. I actually didn't watch that one until like way later. Like I actually watched that one like as an adult in college, and it actually went cool. The designs of the Digimon in Frontiers is actually like really dope. Like Agunimon and like Zephyrmon and like some of the fusion ones. That was actually like, the designs are really cool. But like the story itself ended up like kind of letting me down. In particular, what kind of let me down about it is that it kind of had like, in the end, it had a bit of Goku and Vegeta syndrome where everyone else stopped being useful and only the main two guys were ever useful because they got like the ultimate, more powerful fused Digimon forms at the end. And everyone else became fucking irrelevant to like the utmost degree. I'll tell you, and you could argue also that that's a problem in Digimon Adventure 2 and Digimon Adventure 02. I mean, Digimon Adventure as well as Digimon Adventure 2. But you cannot argue that's a problem in Tamers, brother, because in Tamers, every single person got a mega evolution. All of them. They all got fucking mega evolutions, and it was dope. It's fucking awesome. Tamers is just the best fucking one. So Tamers actually, for Tamers, they ended up getting, it was like one of the writers for like Ghost in the Shell. Like, that's how serious Tamers was. And, like, Tamers had, like, this fucking, like, realness to it, man. Like, they, like, gave Digimon, like, this cool fucking lore. Where Digimon, essentially, were these artificial intelligence life forms. And, essentially, they evolved on their own, right? And so, the kind of story is that, essentially, the main like sort of antagonist villain thing is like this other AI that they created to artificially regulate digital life forms, right? And it was called D-Reaper. And so D-Reaper was like this program, and it would monitor digital life forms to make sure that they weren't growing out of control. If this sounds sci-fi as fuck and really awesome and kind of even relevant to today, then you're fucking absolutely correct. It was the most Kino thing ever made. And it was just awesome, right? And here's where Tamers gets even better, right? So with Tamers, like in Digimon Adventure, right? Like Digimon didn't die. They just became eggs again and they started over. Right? That's nice, I guess, right? That's okay. In Digimon Tamers, brother, in Digimon Tamers, Digimon ate each other. They literally battled and killed each other. And once they did, they absorbed each other's data. They absorbed each other's data because gathering data from other Digimon made them more powerful and allowed them to digivolve to more powerful forms. Because the digital world in Digimon Tamers is like hell. Like they literally depict the digital world in Tamers to be literal fucking hell. And the reason the Digimon keep escaping from the digital world to the human world is because the digital world is such an absolute fucking nightmare to live in, where you have to worry about other Digimon fucking eating you. And it is such a nightmarish thing to live to. Digimon are like, we gotta get the hell up out of here. We gotta go to the human world. This place sucks. And so they try to get out of the human world, and Digimon end up here, and then they end up fighting. And anyways, Digimon Tamers was the best one. I know you guys, if you're saying Adventure was the best one, I don't want to dismiss you, but I think you're saying that based off of nostalgia. I promise you, go back and watch Digimon Adventure and then go back and watch Digimon Tamers, and I like 1010% promise you are going to be like, oh yeah, NSP's right. Yeah, NSP's right. Digimon Tamers was way better. That shit clears. Dell, what's up? I remember this. Rogue Digimon appearing in the real world. D-Reaper was the most adult foe too. D-Reaper was cool, man. I'll never forget D-Reaper assimilating with like Jerry, because D-Reaper's programming to basically be death incarnate was similar enough to like Jerry's depression that like she was like, it like assimilated with her, and it became so creepy because it was like she was possessed by a demon. And it was such an adult anime for like a children's anime. It did not make any sense for it to be that way. Leomon fucking died. Dude, not only did Leomon die in the most brutal fucking way humanly possible. What's his name? Impmon's fully digivolved form. I forget. But he reached his arm through fucking Leomon and like just like punched him, like punched a hole through him. And then do you know what he did, chat? Do you know what he did? He didn't do any of that Digimon Adventure shit where Leomon became an egg again and then he has to grow back up. He didn't do any of that Pokemon shit where Pokemon don't die, they just faint or whatever the fuck. He ate him. He literally ate his data, dude. He absorbed him. He absorbed him and he gained some of his power through doing it. Yes, Beelzemon. Beelzemon absorbed him. Beelzemon arc was like fucking insane. That shit was so good. That was goated. That was goated, man. Like Immon's like whole like story where he like, you know, he's abandoned and whole thing. Don't want to spoil everything. We already spoiled a lot, but it's like, it's the best one. Leomon also died in data. Leomon dies in every Digimon. Like Leomon dying is like a Digimon meme, I feel like. Beelzemon had a damn motorcycle. He was the main character. He was, dude. Beelzemon fucked. That was such a cool character. Such a cool character. Anyways, you guys, I promise you guys, go back and watch Digimon Tamers. Watch it. I promise you, you're gonna be like, nah. I fucked up. I need to go apologize to NSP right now. I need to go apologize to NSP. I cannot stress enough. I'm passionate about it because it's one of my favorite animes ever. I did like Adventure. I did like Adventure 02 as well. Adventure 02 has some writing problems in it. And I say that like in terms of like writing problems that I noticed even as a kid. In particular, like how they teased like that big thing with Kyrie, that one episode, and then that just ended up like never actually being like a big deal. By the way, I just wanted to clarify, it's totally cool if you like Souls games. I'm glad you do. I think stamina-based combat and stat choice leveling systems are just not for me anymore in general. If more Souls games like were like Stellar Blade, I think I'd be more into them. Stellar Blade is fire. Yeah. That's fine. I think 99% of people are like you, Kino Tubs, where they prefer, they are preferring like more hack and slash type games now. I think I'm like the 1% of freak that says that, yeah, bring on more Souls. But I don't hate hack and slash games. I quite like them depending on the hack and slash game. It really depends. Like, I love NieR Automata and I love Metal Gear Rising. Really excited for Phantom Blade Zero too. Yeah, for sure, ORAM. I wasn't afraid of I mean, as I've mentioned, I mentioned this a lot before, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of 16's combat. I felt that was too hack and slash, like in like an RPG setting. It just didn't jive for me that much. I should probably finish Stellar Blade, but the story is straight trash. The story of Stellar Blade is terrible, but it's a very fun game. Stellar Blade is vibes. It's vibes and great combat design. A lot of the enemy design in Stellar Blade is great. I think the reason that like games that are closer to Souls tend to vibe with me more personally is that that style of combat works better with RPG elements typically than like more hack and slash games do. I feel like Souls like games hybrid the RPG and the action elements together, and they're a lot more balanced and a lot more meaningful, right? Whereas I feel like in like a lot of hack and slash RPG hybrid systems, a lot of the times the RPG elements can be kind of arbitrary, if that makes sense. Like, you're typically not worried about build and stuff like that. I tend to like not really care too much about being stylish versus like having difficulty. I like difficulty that crushes me, and I have to figure out a way to overcome that typically. So I think that's why more Soulsy games tend to work with me better. But I'm not anti-hack and slash. There are some hack and slashes that I like. I don't tend to get deep with hack and slashes, like super be like, oh, I'm going to learn how to do like, you know, all these different combos for the sake of it, because that just doesn't appeal to me as much personally. But yeah, I tend to like essentially like just overcoming a brutally difficult fight, using everything that I have and then optimizing my build and stuff. I guess what I'm really trying to say is I like RPGs more. And like it's really hard to hybrid like real RPG-ness with like a lot of hack and slash. Soul genre with RPG element, but Rebirth is GOAT. You have an entire party for RPG. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I like Rebirth so much, is because it also is an action game that like works really well with RPG elements. Whereas I don't feel that's necessarily the truth with like as many other games. I think NieR Automata also worked really well with its RPG elements. KH1 and 2 has the best RPG combat. KH1 and 2 also have like really good RPG heavy combat that I really enjoy and appreciate. So I completely agree there. I also think too, well, I won't get into it because never mind. Shouldn't say too much. But yeah, I agree that Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 have a good balance between the action and RPG. But yeah, so that's like what I'm looking for typically. I just realized Blitz rated us with the party of 16. I didn't even stop yapping for it. I was just like, yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna call it a stream. I thought it was a good state of play. I'm sorry for those who didn't. Who should we raid? Who's streaming? I know who will raid. Okay, we'll raid her, and I will see you guys all tomorrow with another brand new video. I hope you're excited for it. And yeah.